Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to share some of my lessons learned. Like if I were to rebuild my collection, what would I do differently? If you're tuning in for the first time, hi, I'm Katie. I like to do these luxury fashion videos here on YouTube. I share hauls and reviews, but at the end of the day, I share my journey so we can all mindfully curate our own collections. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment down below with your greatest lesson learned. All of your support really means a lot to me. So I know this might be an interesting question to ask, but I was recently reflecting on the collection that I have built over the years. I'd also been thinking about how seriously content I am and absolutely thrilled I am with the handbag collection that I have built so far. So then I naturally started thinking if I had to rebuild my collection from the ground up, restart all over, if I hit a refresh button and I lost everything, like what would I do differently? Would I still end up with this same collection? And that's where I realized there were three main areas or three things that I felt like I would do a little differently. That's why I call them lessons learned a little bit, but they're not necessarily mistakes. And they're definitely not regrets, but they are things that I go, I sort of, I guess I could have benefited from doing something like that, or I wish I did a little bit more there, but at the time I either didn't know or didn't have the resources to do that. The first area is exploring other brands. Now, I fell head over heels for Chanel pretty early on. We all know that Chanel definitely costs a pretty penny, so I was saving up a lot of my funds to go towards the next Chanel purchase, which meant I didn't have a lot of, extra funds to get other things from different brands. And now that I've built out my collection and I feel like I have staples that are really great for most of my use cases, now I'm at a point where it's kind of hard for me to justify adding another handbag to my collection if I don't really need it, So that's why I'm not really adding all of those pieces now. I feel like earlier on when I was still building out a lot of my core collection, I felt like that would have been a good place for me to experience some of the other brands. And by other designer brands, I mean like Givenchy, Prada, Miu Miu, Celine, Loewe, like those kinds of brands are the ones where I wish I had a little bit more experience or dabbled in those areas a little bit more than I had. I don't know. In one way, I wanted to sort of diversify my collection a little bit, have a few more different styles and brands in there. I know that came mostly from my, love for Chanel. That's why that didn't naturally happen. But that's one area. When I look at my collection, that's one area where I feel like I don't have that much diversity. A lot of my handbag collection is Chanel. There's a little bit of Hermes in there. And then I have like one Fendi piece, one Gucci piece, and that's it. It's an area that I wished I had explored more earlier on. Because like I said, now I can't really justify it. Like I don't need another bag. Like the Celine, what's it called? Like the Triumph bag? Triumph? Sorry, I'm going to insert a picture instead of trying to say what this was. This bag, I love it. I don't know why, it's gotten into my mind. I love the silhouette of it. I love that shiny, like box leather on it. I love it. I want to get one, but I'm also like, I don't really need it. I know I don't need it. So it's one of those, it's just getting harder and harder for me to justify adding new bags to my collection. And I feel like it would have been a little bit easier earlier on. The second area that I feel like is a lesson learned is, especially early on, I felt like you had to build out your collection in like a set way. That there was like this one, approved path, approved by whom, I have no idea, but this one set path for you to build out your collection. That was the right way to do it. And that was going to minimize mistakes. Like that was going to be the safe bet. I mean, I feel like the only truth in all of this is that there is no one size fits all approach. There's no one way. There is no, formula that works for everybody. But I did get a little bit caught up in that. I was like, oh, okay, so now that I have this bag, I should get this bag next. And then when I have that bag, now I should get that bag next. And like, I sort of built it out that way. I still made it my own because after I got my very first Chanel walk, I knew I wanted a bigger bag, but I felt like a classic flap was like the thing that everybody got, like a jumbo classic flap. I did put my own twist to it by getting a vintage jumbo that has the vertical quilts instead of, the diamond quilting. So I managed to put my own flair on it a little bit, but I do feel like I was very consumed with like doing it right and following that set path. If I were to redo it, if I were to rebuild my collection, I feel like I would try to ignore some of those feelings. Just go a lot more with my gut instinct of what I like and what I know I will carry. Because at the end of the day, if you really love something, you're going to carry it regardless of it being in trend or, its style or anything like that. Like, you're going to carry it because you love it. So that's something that I learned a lot further down the road, and I wish I sort of had that as a true guiding principle from the beginning. And the third thing I would do differently if I were to rebuild my collection is to leverage the pre-loved market a lot more. This might be just like a very obvious thing to some of you, but I think at the time, because I was very focused on doing, the set way, I think I was also really wrapped up in the in-store experience or wanting to have that kind of boutique experience. Because of that, I feel like I didn't think about the pre-loved market as much as I could have. I feel like I could have used it to a lot more of my advantage, because this is also like before the prices got crazy in the pre-loved market as well. I feel like that could have been a good time to pick up some really good pieces. I have pre-loved pieces here and there across ready-to-wear, shoes, and handbags, but I also feel like I could have done a lot more, a lot better. That feels like a little miss to me, especially in building out ready-to-wear collection. I feel like pre-loved is the way to go. I'm now at a place where I am building out my ready-to-wear collection by purchasing retail ready-to-wear pieces, which is really great. And I love all the pieces that I get, don't get me wrong. But I also just know that ready-to-wear doesn't retain its value as much. So if anybody is ever interested in like luxury ready-to-wear, I always recommend they check the pre-loved market because it's going to be a much better bet there than paying retail for all of that clothes. I wish I was a little bit smarter about that. If you are building out your collection, if you love clothes, 100% you should check out the pre-loved market because you will get better deals that way. You will be able to get more pieces that you're able to mix and match and incorporate into your wardrobe a lot easier than trying to build all of that out through retail. Those are my top lessons learned. If I were to rebuild my collection all over again, these are the things that I would do a little bit differently. Like I said, I love my collection. I'm super happy with all the pieces that I have. I don't regret not doing these things, but I just wanted to share those in case you are still on some of your early parts of your journey, or maybe you're at a place where you want to change how you're building out your collection. These are just some things to keep in mind as you're moving forward, because there is no set way. Like I said, I was so wrapped up in that because I thought there was like a right way. There is no right way. There's no one way. You really create your own way for it to work the best for you. And so I wanted to like throw all of those little bits out there in case they help you make mindful choices for your own collection. I also want to know if you have any lessons learned, years after building your collection. Maybe you're still starting, but you had some awakening. Let me know in the comments down below what you would do differently if you could restart from the beginning. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you like this kind of content and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new fashion related videos every Sunday and Wednesday. So until next time, bye!